A special restream that I'm doing here. Thanks to the good folks at Restream. We're sending out to a lot of different platforms and say something that just happened today. It is now, as I'm recording this, a little after 1 o'clock Eastern time here in the U.S. And we just got word a few hours ago, actually, I've been busy working on that a momentous thing happened today for me. And I just have to pause for a moment in life. You know, in the midst of a world with a whole bunch of yuck going on, I'm going to use that term, a whole bunch of yuck going on, it's nice to know something really, really profoundly good just happened today. Now, let me also make sure I got my camera on here just right, that it's situated. I'm using my new little webcam here, webcam with the ability to put it on here with a gooseneck camera. That's kind of nice. But the thing that happened today, you probably heard, and I'd love to get your comments on this, wherever you're finding this and wherever you're joining me on Facebook or over on LinkedIn, on Twitter, wherever you might be, because we're using Restream to get this out. What do you think of what just happened this morning? Yes, I'm talking about the most important thing. Forget all the other stuff in the trivia that'll be forgotten and move on. Captain Kirk went to space. That's right. William Shatner, the actor who played Captain James Tiberious Kirk on Star Trek. So many of us growing up with that, learning it, living it. Hey, Star Trek is reality. The rest is just details, okay? That's what matters. He went to space, and that's amazing. You know, way up there, 60-some miles up in space, and was weightless for about 3 minutes. And then they came down. I know the whole thing took just a few minutes. I think maybe 10 minutes or so, 10, 20 minutes or so. But it's huge because we're making those small steps for man, as Neil Armstrong helped us learn about in 1969. And then we're moving forward. And I think this is something that provides a lot of hope for us in the future and for right now. To think about it, we've got a world that has a whole lot of yuck going on. When you look at things, yeah, we're vividly aware of it. We're seeing what's happening with COVID. We also see what's happening with Afghanistan and the disaster over there and giving away billions of dollars of our technology to the enemy. That's not good. Seeing the mass migration, not immigration, but the immigrants coming in illegally, coming in and all that. Well, I'm not going to take politics into that. I'm just saying, hey, in the midst of all of that that's going on, it's wonderful to see what is happening and the good opportunities for that. The fact that it was James Tiberious Kirk, he'll always be Captain Kirk to me, you know, going into space, William Shatner doing that. And by the way, also at age 90. Isn't that amazing? I think that's setting a new bar that what is possible when you get to be that age. Of course, think about it. He had Dr. McCoy watching over him. So if you had Dr. McCoy looking over you too, hey, that'd be pretty cool, you know. All that good medical care there on the Enterprise, I understand. So good things there. But I think what we're looking at now is a world that is got a lot of problems, yes, but in the midst of that, amazing things happening. And by the way, this is being done by the private sector. NASA is not doing this. You know, they're having to borrow from it. And I think, okay, that's good. We love NASA. Nothing against it at all. Hey, I'm here in Florida and up in Orlando where we live. We see that. We watch the rockets when they take off. When there's not many clouds in the sky, we can see it from our balcony. And it's always inspiring to see what the wonderful people at NASA are doing. But I think it's really special that we can see private companies doing this, like Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' company is there. We're seeing what Elon Musk is doing with SpaceX. We're also seeing what Richard Branson is doing with his Galaxy, Virgin Galaxy. I think this is wonderful that we can see there's new opportunities and there's new hopes out there, that we can have the kind of world that Star Trek kind of showed us. It was just normal to get out into space. Not a big deal if you're going to go up to Alpha Centauri, you know, kick it in. I guess like warp 10, it doesn't take that long to get there. And warp factor 1, warp factor 2, Mr. Sulu, and all that, as Captain Kirk would tell Ensign Sulu. I think we've got some good opportunities. And in the midst of that, let's all remember that, yes, we recognize the yuck that's going on. We recognize that. We accept it. We're not going to be blind, stick our head in the sand. But what we are going to recognize is the hope that's there and what we can do when we really set our minds to it. They didn't do this overnight. It took a lot of time, a lot of tests, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of setbacks, but we made it. And we're seeing what is happening now with Elon Musk and how he's doing. I'm not into all the internecine arguments and the fighting that they're doing amongst each other. I just think, hey, overall, it is wonderful to see this happening. So I would say to you, as you're watching this, what are you doing? What are you doing to stretch and to go into your own space? And maybe someday it will actually be space. I know they're going to be sending more and more people up there. Right now, only the rich can afford that, and that's okay. That's the way things start. And then they gradually move down that learning curve, that expense curve, figuring out how to do it faster, how to do it cheaper, how to do it better. And we're opening up a world. I salute Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, Richard Branson, and all the people who are working with them and who are working on their own, doing other ventures to move out into this wonderful world where no one has gone before. We're going out there and we're going to see some amazing things happen. I'm looking forward to hearing about people landing on Mars. We are going to reach that eventually, not right away, not tomorrow, but we're going to get there. Stay the course, and we will be able to achieve it. So I think in the midst of all that, for me, this is a pretty emotional time. And I'd love to hear, what do you think? Did you grow up on Star Trek? Did you watch Star Trek? Leave a note in the comments below on what you did, if you did that, and if that's something that was a factor for you. For me, it definitely was. It was something that was something we'd catch every week. I forget what time it was on, and I think it was on NBC television, but I was just a little kid. But I always enjoyed that. And then even more so, I think it really became part of my life in undergrad school, because that was when it was in reruns. It was in rerun syndication, and we'd catch it at certain times. I remember there, and we'd come back to the dormitory in undergrad school to see that, and we'd watch them over and over many times. So, Star Trek, you don't just watch the episodes once. No, you watch it and you live it. You get into it, and you get to the point where you can even start quoting the lines. Yeah, that's good. But the thing is, you think, well, that's silly. Why would you do that? Well, it gave us hope. See, Star Trek was really about hope. It was about, we can do that. If someday that's where we're going to be in the 23rd century and later on in the 24th century with Next Gen, and I loved Next Gen as well. And then the other break-offs and other spin-offs that we saw from them, I love that. And I think they were really, really good to help us see the future, to help us start thinking that way. I remember one time as a journalist, they had a meeting for journalists at CES, when there used to be the Consumer Electronics Show. Now it's just CES. And we met at the Hilton there in Las Vegas when they had the Star Trek Pavilion. And the Star Trek Pavilion was there, and they had us there. I was the first one in there of all the journalists. I made sure I got there way early and got a chance to meet some of the crew. Now, Captain Kirk, William Shatner, was not there. Leonard Nimoy was not, but got a chance to see Majel Barrett, who played a few different roles. She was married to Gene Roddenberry. Got to see Jimmy Doohan, Scotty. Got a chance to see some other people that were there and other actors that were just really, really wonderful. And getting a chance to talk. And I remember talking to Majel Barrett, and she was talking about the time that she and her husband, Gene Roddenberry, who founded Star Trek, gave us inspiration for that, went to the Jet Propulsion Lab. And at the Jet Propulsion Lab, some of the scientists and the other employees there told them that they were inspired by what he came up with in Star Trek. The idea of the phones, that you could go the flip phones and then talk on that was amazing. The idea of being able to transport, how can we do that? We're not there yet, but engineers, keep working on that. Keep working on that so we can safely do it, because right now I'd probably be in the category of Dr. McCoy, be a little bit scared of having my atoms scattered around like that, but we're going to eventually do it. We'll start with rocks, okay? Yeah, we'll do it with some rocks, and we'll move up to vegetables and fruit, transporting those, and then some other things that we'll gradually move into it so that we can start eventually transporting humans. But I think that what she said, what Majel Barrett said to me, was profound, that we can do this, and we're following what's there with science fiction. So I would encourage you, my fellow dreamers, my fellow adventurers out there, think in terms of how we can expand and go beyond what we've done. And also, the message that William Shatner himself gave us, a 90-year-old man going into space. He is now the oldest man that has been to space, and how fitting that it would be Captain Kirk. Yeah, Captain Kirk doing that. And I think that's really good. I think it gives us real hope, and we need that in the midst of a world today with all the yuck going on. We need to have that, and we realize, okay, yeah, we understand, we see what's happening with the other stuff, but we've got hope that we're going to be able to stretch and grow. And as we become better, and as we try, we have our setbacks, we give up, we don't let that hold us down, and we keep going. We can do a lot. Well, hey, if you're catching this on the recording, I would love to hear from you. Leave a note below. Tell me what you think, what it's like, and how it went for you, what you thought of all of this. Matter of fact, hold on just a second. I'm just going to share something here with you. You'll see right there. Here it is. This is the news story that was there. Blue Origin launches William Shatner, 3 others to the final frontier and back. There they are, and it took. I love that spaceship, by the way. It looks really, really cool, and how they went going into that, and were able to get so much more done. Here, let me come back over here and let you see a little bit of this here. It's like the Star Trek hero and 3 fellow passengers soared to an estimated 66 miles, 106 kilometers over the West Texas desert in the fully automated capsule, and then safely parachuted to the desert in a flight that lasted a little over 10 minutes. So that is pretty amazing when you get down to it and you think, hey, this is what they actually did. Our thanks to Jeff Bezos and his team for making that happen, bringing it about. And although people have told me I look a little like Jeff Bezos, I am not Jeff Bezos. I just admire the guy and what he's done and all that he's done. It's an inspiration to all of us to pursue our own lines of work and to get out there and achieve excellence. Whatever we're doing, be the best and do it well. Hey, I'll look forward to hearing from you. You can drop me a line if you want, terry@terrybrock.com, or you can drop me a line some of these other places as well and do it. Matter of fact, I got a call on comment here from Josh. Josh, hey, good to hear from you. Wish they had sent some tribbles into space. Yes, yes, indeed, Josh. That would have been good. Some tribbles, but we could then put them into the transporter, beam them over to the Klingon ship where there'll be no tribble at all, as Scotty told us. Now, you see, that's getting really deep into Star Trek from the episode The Trouble with Tribbles, one of their best. I love that one, and where Scotty beamed the Tribbles over into the Klingons for a visit because the Klingons didn't like them. So that's another. But Josh, good to hear from you. That's Dr. Josh Hellman, who is a buddy of mine, and he is a medical doctor that helps a lot of people. By the way, with fasting, and fasting, a very good way to clean out your body, to get help and be able to let your body work. Josh, we're doing the intermittent fasting. You've been an encouragement for us on that, and also for a whole food plant-based diet that helps us to live long as well. So we will live long and prosper with that. Josh, always good to hear from you, my friend, and come back, see us again sometime. And so we're going to be going on to many, many good things, lots of good that's ahead for us. And I think the world can be a better place. We acknowledge that. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to make it. I'm Terry Brock at terrybrock.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you and catching up with you a little bit later. And yes, of course, I leave you again with live long and prosper.